See how that goes. All right, Elon Musk planning to put, believe it or not, folks on Mars, forget in the next 10 years, maybe as soon as 6 years. But, of course, this is coming from the same company that's had a lot of problems with explosions on some of its rockets. So, Scott Martin on commending Mr. Musk for the lofty goals, but not of late for the lofty achievements. You know, Scott, I know you're but a young whippersnapper, but we had this program.
Used to be.
The
formerly.
Vanguard program, and when we early days of space, and they were always, you know, collapsing and exploding on oftentimes right at the gantry, right at launch. And we overcame that, and we ultimately did land a man on the moon. But in the middle of that, John Kennedy was saying stuff like that, and it seems silly. So who's to say that Elon is being silly here?
Neil, I think some of the best things that we have on Earth, invention-wise, have come with trial and error. They've come with cost, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's cost human life. But that's the great thing about Elon Musk, I think. I guess the good and the bad, right? You have failures. I mean, you have a couple other companies that he has in Tesla and Solar City that are losing money hand over fist. But you do have successes, and you do have big dreams that really tend to inspire others to go out and create big things. And I'm a big fan of his.
So, I'm not quite sure. A lot of people always remind me with these, you know, corporate undertakings to get into space. It's not as if NASA's not involved. In other words, it's not as if our government is even indirectly involved, but that it would be a large commitment here and a very expensive commitment. So I'm wondering if you knew that as just, say, an investor in Tesla and things that he does, would it give you pause?
I think it would. I mean, I think you're right about the cost. I think the demand, too, is something you have to look at. You know, I think back to the movie Total Recall, the Schwarzenegger version, where he goes to Mars. And listen, Mars looks like an okay place. The women were certainly there. But is there really a demand for people to go to Mars, Neil? You know, do people really want to go to the moon? I think there's a handful of folks that do. But the cost is certainly involved. They're not offering a frequent flyer program, as far as I know. So it actually excludes a lot of the population, which are exactly the customers you need to have. But
there are a lot of people you'd like to send to Mars, right? I mean, if you could volunteer them, right? I mean, that's a whole nother show.
I could think of one or two. Yeah, I think so.
Speaking of which, I want to remind people, Charlie Gasparino will be joining us very shortly. Thank you, my friend. Great seeing you.
Take care.
All right.